As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note, this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vinod Shankar from PhillipCapital India Private Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, moderator. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of PhillipCapital India Private Limited, I welcome you to the PG Electroplast Q1FY22 earnings call. To discuss the results today, from the management side, we have Mr. Vishal Gupta, Managing Director Finance, Mr. Vikas Gupta, Managing Director Operations, and Mr. Pramod Gupta, Chief Financial Officer. I now request the management for their opening comments, post which will open the floor for Q&A. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's call. I hope everyone is doing fine and keeping well. I'm joined on this call by Mr. Vikas Gupta, Managing Director Operations, and our CFO, Mr. Pramod Gupta. We have already uploaded our results and hope you must have gone through the same. I would like to open today's call by sharing a brief about our operations and our future plans. This quarter, our sales were again impacted due to COVID pandemic. FY22 began very well in April, but regional lockdowns starting in mid-April contributed to the slow movement of inventory across the channels, and consequently sales in the month of May and June, which are usually the peak months for air conditioner sales, were impacted significantly. However, the impact was much lower than last year, and we are seeing a much better recovery as compared to the last year and expect this trend will continue. The company has been able to strengthen its balance sheet by completing its equity fundraise in this quarter. Now I will talk about our different businesses. Plastic molding was 62% of our sales in this quarter as compared to 55% in last quarter. Product sales were also up from 29% to 33%. Electronic sales in this quarter rose to 5% from 3%, while tool manufacturing, which contributed 4 crores to sales last quarter, dropped to 29 lakhs in this quarter. Gas charging, being a one-off business, became nil in this quarter. Washing machine and AC IDU business has seen robust growth on a low base, and the company is making further investments in the washing machine and AC platforms. Products business remains the focus area and growth driver for the company, and the company is doing major capital expenditure towards R&D, product development, and capacity creation in FY22. Specialized plastic molding business in sanitary and fans is also showing good traction, and the outlook remains robust for them. The company has developed its own models of air coolers, and product validation has been completed by our 2 clients, and this will help us in driving the growth of air coolers during the upcoming season of FY22. Further, in mold manufacturing, the order book is robust, and operations have now normalized after pandemic-induced disruptions. Outlook for mold manufacturing business remains promising, and PGEL aspires to establish itself as a major tool room for plastic molds in North India. Now coming to washing machines, volumes are picking up, and the order book is much larger than last year. We have added 2 new clients during the quarter for semi-automatic washing machines. Our fully automatic washing machines are also gaining traction, with starting of regular supplies to 3 different customers, and we are expecting significant volume traction in this category for the full year. The construction of the new facility at Supa, Ahmednagar, is firmly on track, and the facility will be integrated AC manufacturing plant with capabilities to manufacture plastic molded components, sheet metal components, heat exchangers, cross-flow fans, copper tubing shops, IDU assembly lines, and ODU assembly lines. After completion of this capital expenditure, we will have a peak monthly capacity of 125,000 IDUs and 50,000 ODUs. We are expanding our team, and we have hired several senior professionals from the AC industry who are now helping us scale our execution capabilities to the next level, and we expect to start production in new facility by December this year. Our ODM range of ACs are on the track for the launch, and we are investing in 2 platforms of IDUs and ODUs, as we have already discussed earlier also. And we'll be able to offer more than 50 new different models spanning the complete range of room ACs from 0.75 ton to 2 ton models with different star ratings for both inverter and fixed speed models. These models being developed by our R&D team are compatible with 2022 energy rating stable, and we already have our anchor customers signed and are in advanced stage of negotiations with several large national brands for our ODM ACs, and we expect to have a very firm commitment from them in next 3 to 4 weeks. Due to the ban on the imports of ACs with refrigerants, we are seeing a lot of inquiries for ODM solutions for the upcoming season. Barring any further COVID-related surprises, we expect a good year for the AC business. We'll be applying for the PLI scheme for white goods through a PG Technoplast Private Limited. We will be applying to manufacture plastic molded components, sheet metal components, heat exchangers, crop floor fans, and control assemblies. We hope to get approval under the scheme and contribute to the Make in India and the Make for the World vision of the government. Now I'd like to hand over the call to Mr. Pramod Gupta, our CFO, who will take you through the financials for the quarter. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone. So open a link call today by giving you an overview of financial operations. We in the first quarter of 2020 clocked a revenue of 138 crores, then EBITDA of 9.8 crores and a net profit of 61 lakhs. 61 lakhs. Despite the difficult were at least stable due to the strict cost control and overhead control.
Sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Pramod Gupta, but your voice is breaking, sir. Can you please check?
Yes, I'll do that. So, I'm saying that despite the difficult EBITDA margins were largely stable due to the strict cost control and overhead control. Importantly, working remained high. In our opinion, revenue growth also is improving and margins remain. On the balance sheet, the raise of 76.6 crores from the investors, which actually hit our accounts only on last day of the quarter, which was 30th June. And out of this amount, already 30 crores has been spent on advances to contractors and for machinery for the current ongoing capex. And rest of the money has been utilized to right now pay for the short-term bank liabilities, which have actually reduced the debt right now. As of 30th June, we were having a net debt of about 150 crores ex of CCCTs. We are hopeful that gearing for the company, or gearing ratios for the company will not deteriorate and on the will improve this year going on forward. And the capex that we have committed is going to be taken care by internal accruals and recently raised capital, and that will help us to meet our aspiration for the foreseeable future. Now with this, I'd like to open the session for Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Nitin Arora from Axis Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for taking my question. Just given that the proportion was high, in this quarter, AC would be better. How do you see inquiry levels now, considering July and August, the normalization to the lower sales in the AC has started normalizing? That's my first question. And the second part to it, in terms of current capacity, if you have the idea, and also, hello?
Yes. Hello. Sorry, can you repeat the question? There's a lot of disturbance in the line, and we're not able to clearly hear the question.
My first question is that even the plastic molding still was up 60% overall.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Nitin Arora, but we cannot hear you, sir. Your voice is breaking, Mr.
Actually, even your voice is breaking a lot. So there is a problem at the line at your end. When the line you connect with the management with us, there is a lot of problem there with the management end. So just make sure the line is at your end, because your voice is also breaking. I'll come back in the queue for more questions. No problem. I'll come back in the queue.
Thank you so much. We'll move to the next question, which is from the line of Abhishek Maheshwari from Sky Ridge Wealth Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm audible, right? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are. Please go ahead.
Hello, yeah, good evening.
Yes, sir. So, couple of questions. So, can you put an absolute number on your capex amount for FY22 and 23? Like a budgeted amount will do.
Yeah. So for FY22, the capex is actually kind of crystallized. It is going to be close to 120 odd crores. But for the FY23, actually the PLI will determine whether how much capex we will incur. If we get selected for the PLI, the PLI capex itself is going to be a significant chunk of the. So that number we will be able to tell you post PLI decision comes.
Sure, sir. No problem. So secondly, the festival season is about to pick up from September onwards. So do you see inquiries picking up, and how's the demand as compared to the last year?
This basically for Diwali this time, I think what we have experienced, the overall trade channel liquidation has happened, which last year continued up to month of October, November. As per the feedback what we have from our customers, the channels inventories have been liquidated more or less now, and upcoming Diwali season is looking to be very promising, especially for our washing machine business. And AC is everybody knows that it's a little lull period for everyone, for complete industry only. So for washing machine, we are seeing a good traction. And for all other, where we are doing plastic molding for parts like refrigerator and washing machine, so normally it's a good time for the production of these products. So we are seeing growth in plastic molding business also for our refrigerator and washing machine customers.
Okay, sir. Sir, and lastly, the freight costs have increased quite a bit in last few months also. So, and we do import a lot of our components. So, is that causing a bit of a crunch on margins, or are we able to pass on the costs?
What happens in our business, so I will say, in fact, the freight increase is a blessing in disguise for companies like us, where Make in India and India manufacturing we are trying to promote, because the goods, products what we manufacture, they are the bulky in nature, and the freight plays a very significant role in the products. But having said that, there are certain inputs which we need to import for making these products, and they are not very voluminous items. Yes, the freight cost has gone up, and this has impacted the increase in the cost of the products what we are manufacturing, and we have been able to pass on that freight increase to our customers.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1 now. The next question is from the line of Nitin Arora from Axis Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. I'm audible now?
Much better.
Okay, great. So, sir, my first question is that given your plastic molding business was still the proportion was higher, and AC didn't get through the way everyone would have wanted for an OEM player. Despite that, one, you're maintaining your margins. Your margins are somewhat still steady state there. So I wanted to understand if something profitability has improved even from a plastic molding business for you as well. There's some change in mix in that business. That's number one. Number two, in terms of the AC business, current capacity, how much you are fully booked in terms of clients, and when you're putting a new capacity in Pune, how much at this point, at this juncture, how much you are sort of pre-booked in terms of capacity? And the question is more to understand is the growth which we are talking in AC business in the second half, is it really dependent on this new capacity or not? Those are the two questions.
Okay. Coming to the margin question first, I'll like to highlight that we actually had a stringent cost control, especially on the management salaries and overheads during the month of May and partly even in June. And that is the reason that the margins have been sustained during. Which actually typically are the reason that you have, if the operating leverage plays out positively or negatively. In our case, that operating leverage last year was very negative in the first and the second quarter, and because of which margins got a little bit hit. In this quarter, because of the cost controls and overhead control, things have been managed. Coming to the capacity question, I'll tell you, this year we think that in the season, for most of the players, the capacity utilization will remain very high because the kind of demand, at least we foresee or we are perceiving, we think that the domestic capacity for that demand is going to be probably running at more than 100%. The reason being is that imports are going to get substituted. In our particular case, even in last year, from the season starting from the month of November until March, the utilization was pretty decent. But because the first half of the year, which is like typically April, May, June, was totally washed out, and then even in the lean season, the customers were not picking up, so the business got impacted on the AC side. This year, April was okay, May, June, and then subsequently July and August also have been, but this season has not been zero. In months, even July and August, we did total blackout. Actually, all numbers were getting picked up by two of our clients, which for whom we make AC. And we think that going forward, like from the month of September, October, things should probably improve. And this year, hopefully the OEMs or the brands will probably start sourcing early because channel inventory is low and is almost cleaned out. It is the inventory with the OEMs or the brands only, which is right now there. Now coming to the second question of the growth, is it totally dependent on the new capacity? Obviously, new capacity will decide and will boost the growth. But even the existing capacities, if they run and they start, showing good utilization levels from say September, October, they will also contribute to the AC growth from the last year level. But I must at the same time tell you, last year in the fourth quarter, we had one-off business of gas charging in ODU, which is not going to be there this year because most of the people are likely to source their outdoor units locally, and that opportunity is not there. But hopefully that will be replaced by our own thinking this year, and therefore we will be able to replace that.
And in terms of the new capex, the new capacity which will come up, when we are lining that up, and just to carry forward the question, when you're talking to clients on this new capacity, because you have two large customers any which ways on your existing site, any bookings by them in this new capacity, or any new clients where you're already pre-booked, if one has to look at from that angle?
For the new, we hope to start December, as Vishalji actually told you in the opening remarks. And coming back to the clients for the new capacity. For new capacity, we are actually largely trying for an capacity that we have is largely for, at least the Indo unit is totally for OEM business. Now for the ODM business, good inquiries, validation, the inquiries from 5 to 6 serious engagement which we have right now with 2 to 6 other customers, and the rest of the capacity will not be a challenge. In the season, we are able to complete the project on time and deliver the ACs.
Okay. This is the last question before I come back in the queue. What was the utilization now for you in July, August, and June? That's my last question.
July, August utilization levels are pretty low in the AC. I'll say they are probably just around 25 to 30%.
And washing machine?
Washing machine, we are actually, I will not say that we are running at 100% capacity, but whatever we are able to produce, we have more orders than what we are able to produce, because, May was a closure, complete lockdown, even in our Roorkee facility. So scaling up has been so whatever scaling up we are doing, the capacity of more than 60,000 a month. We are right now running, if you look at the capacity utilization, it will be 60%. And scaling up, hiring people back, and the next month onward, utilization will further improve.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Pramod Gupta, may I request you to please check your line, sir, because the audio is breaking in between.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll move to the next question is from the line of Rahul Soni from Smith Limited. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. A couple of queries, and thanks for taking my opportunity. Sir, regarding the gas charging business, you said that during the current year, the business from the gas charging business won't be there, as the clients are sourcing the outdoor unit locally. So my question is here, is it possible that you order your indoor unit from one manufacturer and the outdoor unit from another? Is there not any issue of integration between the two units?
Rahulji, I will take your questions one by one. First is that gas charging revenue has become nil in this quarter or this financial year. There are a couple of reasons for that. First, this thing what happened last year was just a very surprise development when the government suddenly announced that policy. So a lot of companies who have already tied up their supply chain by way of imports of complete goods from China for the season of 2021. So they were caught off guard. So they had to import those goods after getting gas removed from those sets in their countries of export, and they were imported into India, and the people like us did gas charging for them. And this was coupled by the COVID-induced lockdown. So there was an inventory channel was already, filled with the inventory. So this quarter there has not been no gas charging business. And coming to next point that yes, when you are making fixed speed type of air conditioners, then there is no integration issues of IDUs taking from a different supplier and outdoor unit from a different supplier. But in case of inverter ACs, there will be an integration issue. So the IDUs and ODUs, normally what happens in the companies when they are making outdoor units, I will give you our example. We are making indoor units for some customers. So the PCB that we are using in our IDUs is matching with the
Hello, I lost your audio.
Please allow us a moment, sir.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm there. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Vishal Gupta, please go
Yeah,
ahead.
Rahulji, sorry. So when we are making indoor units for our customers, so normally the PCBs what we are using in IDUs and the PCBs what they use in their ODUs, they are compatible to each other. So there is no such issue. So normally companies do plan their supply chain in that way. Even if they have to source IDUs from a different supplier and ODUs from a different supplier, there are not much issues in that.
Okay. And sir, second question again on the AC side. So sir, I want to understand what exactly you are capable of doing in terms of AC manufacturing. I mean, are you able to manufacture all the equipments except the compressor and assemble the same?
Now, the facility what we have right now for indoor unit, we have an integrated manufacturing facility where all critical components like heat exchangers and plastic molded parts are being made in-house. And with the upcoming facility to be ready and operational by end of this year, calendar year, then we will have integrated facility for outdoor units also, where we will have sheet metal in-house, powder coating in-house, and cross-flow fans and all those things in-house. So we will have an integrated facility for outdoor units also by end of this calendar year.
Okay. Only the tubing parts and compressor.
Tubing parts also. Tubing parts also we will make in-house. Compressor and motor we will have to buy from outside.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you. I will be in queue.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants to ask a question, please press star and 1 now. The next question is from the line of Keshav Padadia from Phillip Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Hi, sir. Thank you for taking my question. So my first question was in regards to the volumes we did. So, for example, last year the normalized AC volumes were around 7 million units, and this year it was 6 million units. So, given no third wave and a normal summer season next year, can you give us a qualitative number what we can expect as volumes next year?
It will be very difficult to give this number, but I think we expect a very good growth in this number. Having said that, because last 2 years have been very tough for AC industry in India, because whenever this COVID lockdown has happened, it was incidentally at the same time of whenever the AC season is on a peak. So there is always, India consumption story is very strong. There is a latent demand and we expect there will be a very good rebound in AC sales in the upcoming season, provided there is no surprises like COVID in future.
Right, sir. And so if you could give some idea of what kind of projections of our sales would we meet in the current quarter, like how the demand has been, especially in the current and the previous month.
So as Vishalji was telling you in his opening remarks that this year we are seeing a better recovery than last year. So obviously the recovery, that better recovery should also mean higher numbers, and that we have already seen for the month of July and the run rate of August that we are in, and we hope that September things should further improve. Although I must tell you that we are still slightly, or not slightly, quite significantly lower in terms of monthly revenue run rate that we did in the month of March. But we think by October, November, we should be there at that run rate in the month that we did in the fourth quarter last year. The numbers are surely going to see a significant jump from here on. I will not be able to give you qualitative numbers, but it is suffice to say that this recovery is much better than last year. Order books are looking good across the product line and even in the plastic molding business. And we hope a significant uptick in a YOY revenue in the coming quarters.
Right, sir. That's very helpful. So just one more question. If you could give us some idea as to what's happening with the PLI and when can we expect to know if we will be approved in the scheme? And also, sir, the total capex that you would be making in the next 5 years through PLI, if you could give a broad number.
PLI, just yesterday, government has uploaded, DPIIT has uploaded certain very important clarifications related to the applications to be made in PLI. Everyone was waiting for that. Now, since those clarifications have been given by the government, we have already kick-started our process of making PLI application, and we hope to make our application in first week of September. And first 15 September is the last date for making an application, and we won't be able to share our exact details of the investments, but we will be committing in PLI. Let us first we close that application, and in forthcoming calls we'll be disclosing those numbers. Right now, I don't think it's the right time to disclose those investment numbers right now.
Right, sir. Right. And so just one last question from my side. So I may have missed the capacity utilization across our different product categories. If you could repeat that, sir, please.
See, plastic molding, we are seeing a much better recovery right now, which has been the mainstay of the business of the company till now. And we are seeing around 75% of capacity utilization across all different plants and different product categories for plastic molding. Whereas washing machine, as Pramodji has already told you, we are working at around more than what we have orders of what we are producing, more orders than what we are producing. For AC, yes, right now it's a very low season, and we are working at around 15 to 20% of our capacity right now. But as we have discussed earlier also, I think that channel inventories have been liquidated. So we are expecting by September, October, there will be an uptick in the demand from the customers, and by November, we expect to normalize the whole thing.
Right, sir. Thank you. That was really helpful. I'll come back in the queue for any more questions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Vishal Biraya from Aviva Insurance. Please go ahead.
Hello. Thank you. So my question is on the new customer acquisition. So could you give some updates there?
So as we have detailed in the opening remarks, that for coolers we have tied up and got our product validation with two new customers. Both are online and in the e-commerce channel. For the washing machines, for the semi-automatic side, we have added 2 new customers during the quarter, and we actually started our fully automatic washing machines during this quarter. There we have actually started supplying to 3 customers. They were the existing customers for us in the washing machines.
Okay, and anything in the RAC?
RAC, we right now are supplying to only 2 customers, and that continues. But for the ODM product that we have developed, the ODM solution, we are in talks with almost actually the inquiries are there from 12 customers. 7 we are actively soliciting and we are doing the negotiation. And product validation is going on in almost 4 customers right now, and we hope to sign up with them in the at least 3 to 4 customers during this next quarter.
Okay. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1 now. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Abhishek Maheshwari from Sky Ridge Wealth Management. Please go ahead. Yes, Abhishek Maheshwari.
Thank you for. Yes. Hi. Thank you for taking my question again. Any plans to get into your own branding, or do you plan to continue with the OEM only?
No, Abhishek, we don't intend to get into our own branding. We like to continue in our OEM and ODM space only right now.
Okay, so sir, even if you keep operating as ODM, you think that there will be a conflict of interest with your current customers, or each customer has different internal different specifications?
No, Abhishek, what happens, yes, some customers have different specifications. Even if some customers where we are giving OEM products, they are also very much interested sometimes in taking ODM products from them. So it's an industry practice. There is not much conflict of interest in this. Normally, customers take both OEM and ODM category of products from you. So it's a kind of an industry practice only. There is not much of conflict in that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Abhishek ji.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vipul Lamba, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thank you for taking my question. I just wanted to check with the capex which we've planned, what kind of annual revenues, tentative annual revenues we can expect?
Actually, revenues depend upon a couple of things, but I'll just try to give you some color on what kind of capacity we are creating, so that you will actually be able to kind of appreciate what we are doing. So this 120 crores kind of a capex on the outer limit that we think we will be able to do, we will be doing in FY22 will actually give us a capacity of incremental 75,000 of indoor units of AC, which are going to be significantly backwardly integrated, and also 50,000 units of outdoor units, which are also going to be backward integrated. So totally, now why I'm not refraining myself from giving you a revenue figure is that there are different models in which customers source, even in the ODM category. Some customers in AC buy their own compressors and PCBs, and in that case we give them rest of the product, and in some cases they take the fully built units. So that actually depends on brand to brand. So giving an exact or a good estimate is slightly difficult as of now, but if we do a decent capacity utilization next year on the capacity that we are adding, that is 50,000 per month for outdoor unit and 75,000 units of indoor unit per month, then you can probably do a work backward, and it will give you a figure of upwards of probably 450 to 500 crores of turnover on that number.
So this will be an incremental 500 crores you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to the participants to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Rahul Soni from Smith Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Yes, sir. So what is the current market size for ODM OEM in RAC, and where do you stand in terms of market share?
Rahulji, out of total around 6.5 to 7 million market what we have in India, in last 2 years there has been quite a bit variation in this number. See, it's a very difficult question to answer in the sense because window, then this market is further divided into window ACs and split air conditioners. And by split air conditioners, we have indoor units and outdoor units. So, sometimes customers are taking window ACs are largely, are being, most of the customers, they are buying in ODM category, barring few, some might be making their own design like LG and other, some bigger brands. And other brands are buying on an ODM category, whereas in IDU, it is largely, OEM category and some percentage is there in ODM category, and same is for ODUs also. Largely it is OEM category only, and ODM category is smaller number. But very difficult to put numbers to that, right now.
Okay. And so what kind of growth in this business do you see for next 2 years?
What has happened in India, total 7 million ACs, if we say, were being sold, and around 30 to 35% were imports. So there are two things which is happening. One is a normal growth in the market, AC market, and then whatever imports which were happening, they will get substituted into local manufacturing. So for the companies like us, there is a tailwind in the form of normal industry market growth and the substitution of imports by local manufacturing. So we are seeing a decent number. It's very difficult to put any number to that, but the growth will be a good in upcoming times, because in India, if you see, the penetration level is also around 7%, and the electricity availability has improved a lot in India in last 10 years, and AC is becoming more of a necessity rather than a luxury. So in India, if you compare numbers with China market, domestic market is more than 10 times of current India market. And what we feel that we can see good growth and doubling of this market in next 3 to 4 years in India.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vipul Rambak, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I wanted to check on how was our existing business with respect to mobile phone and LED manufacturing, and have we plans to expand our scale in these two segments?
In mobile phone, right now our presence is not very large. We do plastic injection molded parts for one of our clients for supplying the molded parts for mobile phones. In LED light, you are talking about LED lights or the TV business?
TV business.
So TV business, we have plans to start manufacturing in coming quarter. We are in talks with a couple of clients, and we will be able to share the details of that as soon as we are able to finalize that. And we have installed a TV line, so we are in discussion with some clients for that business.
So, and any plans for getting into product business for mobile manufacturing other than the molding ones?
No. As of now, we don't intend to get into mobile phone manufacturing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, please press star and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question for today. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vinit Shankar for closing comments.
Thank you, sir. Sir, would you like to make any closing remarks?
No, just like to thank everybody for attending the call, and we'll keep on updating you as and when any new development happens in the company. That is all from our side. Thank you, and wish you all a good health and safe. Remain safe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. On behalf of PhillipCapital India Private Limited, that concludes the conference call. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.